Hello and welcome to Dingoes Eat My Podcast. I'm Paul.
And I'm Dave.
And this week we are discussing the episode Inside Out, which originally aired April 2nd, 2003, attracting approximately 3.55 million viewers. Alrighty, so let us start off with the number one film in America this week, Dave. Any guesses?
Film-wise, on that time of the year...
I'll give you a hint. It's a comedy. With Chris Rock and Bernie Mac.
Yeah, my mind's still drawing a blank. Most likely I know it, but it is buried back there, I think.
This one I think you'll probably know. It's a movie called Head of State.
Possibly? Again, the name rings a bell, but I don't think I've actually watched the movie. I think I've just heard the title and seen trailers for it.
Okay. Chris Rock is like he reluctantly becomes president, I think.
Yeah, I think that was a thing. I can't remember exactly when that stopped being a thing, but that was a thing.
Yes, and that grossed just over $13.5 million in that weekend. So not a bad opening, especially for like a comedy at the time. Although it'll be replaced by something so good next week. Alrighty, and let us move on to the number one song in America this week, Dave.
Can't remember if I got the name of the artist right, but I believe it's that one from 50 Cent still. I wouldn't be surprised.
It is still Into Club by 50 Cent.
Yeah. It was the music club era of music at the time.
It was definitely the thing that people enjoyed. This episode was April 2nd. So, for video games, let's just see something quickly here. Not a whole lot for this week. Actually, only one game this week. So the only game we have for this week is a little game that came out to Windows as well as PS2, Midnight Club 2.
Supposed yay? Like, the one thing that's coming to mind is supposedly a racing game, or no?
Yeah, no, it's a racing game. It's, you remember when Rockstar made games that weren't Grand Theft Auto?
Yes, surprisingly.
Yeah, this is what they made. They had a really good racing series called Midnight Club. Which I wish they would bring back, but Grand Theft Auto makes them far too much money.
Yeah, true. I'm curious, though, was that the particular one that had the concept of cops and drivers racing off against one another, or was this the destruction one?
I know it was like street racing and like they were like open world. I don't remember. I'm assuming they were probably co-ops. I don't remember. I haven't played these games in probably close to 20 years at this point.
Yeah, and no one else has kind of revived the concept, either through copyright and or other particular means.
Yeah, Rockstar, could you make some other games other than GTA? That would be great.
I'm pretty sure you'd have the money, unless you're doing wasteful things with the money, which probably wouldn't be surprising.
I mean, they have so many... The thing that frustrates me is like, they have so many good franchises that they just never touch. Because, like, yeah, you got Grand Theft Auto, but, like, you could make another Bully game. You could make another, like, L.A. Noire. There's so many good games that you could be making. I just want a new L.A. Noire. Anyway, let us continue to Inside Out. Okay. Angel and the gang have worked out that Cordelia is actually the Beastmaster and confront her. She reveals herself and asks what tipped them off in the end. Angel reveals that he worked it out when Cordelia referred to her baby as my sweet, the same term that the Beastmaster used when talking to Angelus. Angel knows that Cordelia would never hurt her friends like this, and whatever they're dealing with is just walking around in her body, and he demands to know what really happened to his friend. Before he can get any answers, Connor breaks in and takes Cordelia away, unaware of her true nature. I really hate the way that Angel figures this out, because I think it's stupid.
Just the fact that she said my sweet.
Yeah, that's the thing that, like, I hate that's the like his down, but that's her downfall. Like that's
Yeah,
fucking stupid.
again, there's other particular points within it that he sort of saw particular things, heard particular things, but also a case of it was mostly Angelus most of the time. It was a small bit within the episode that Angel kind of was back in the driver's seat. So it might also be a bit of a case of time within the last couple of episodes. There wasn't really enough for him to kind of decently sort of suss out, but with Showtime, there's only so much I think you can do.
Yeah, I think it's a really lazy thing. But anyway, Gunn returns from his secret mission, and the gang fills him in on the details, working out a few things in the meantime. The evil beast came back with Cordelia when she came back from the higher dimension, and woke up when Lauren cast the memory spell. The pieces fall into place, explaining the conspiracy that has taken place over the last few episodes, including the death of the Sphere Priest, Lauren's confusion, the death of Lila, and the fake reinsoulment of Angel. Again, I kind of hate this because it's... Okay, I'm going to get into why I don't like this episode. It's too hand-wavy. Like, it's all like, oh, everything is part of this grand conspiracy, and that's how we're going to explain all this shit. And I kind of hate that because I feel like it takes away any agency from, like, every character in the show.
No, I can see with that, especially with the couple things as you were saying. Watching the episode, it was kind of good to sort of see how everything sort of came about with Cordelia being the evil, causing all the incidents that kind of happened. But again, just with how everything sort of fit within the episode and the bit of information we've heard about the developments within the show off the stage and whatnot, then yeah, I definitely can sort of see how everything was a little bit more hand wavy.
Yeah, it just I hate this whole I hate anytime a show goes like, well, no, actually, you know that thing that you did 3 seasons ago, that's actually part of this plan. Especially because I'm like, oh, that's just now you're just like, what else was part of this plan? Like you've made it so these characters don't have agency. That like every decision they've made has been like preordained. That's dumb. Then I have no reason to invest in decisions they make in the future because that could be preordained.
In those sort of cases, just thank God that this isn't the same sort of issue that Kingdom Hearts has, which we're not going to step into now.
I played 10 minutes of the first Kingdom Hearts game, and I played part of one of the GBA games. I think that was the card one, whatever that one was.
Yeah.
That was my introduction to Kingdom Hearts. I was very confused. Anyway, continuing on. After their escape, Cordelia and Connor talk, and Cordelia snares Connor further under her spell, using a combination of romance, half-truths, and total lies. She ensures that Connor is safely against all of the others. Angel returns from an unsuccessful search mission, mentally beating himself up for missing the signs. He and Wesley share a moment about Lila's death. Wesley has been unsuccessful in finding any news about the beast. He suggests approaching the powers that be, but Angel shoots down the idea, commenting that previous interviews with the powers have proven unsuccessful. However, Angel has another idea. Because the powers that be that have always been super helpful.
You know, in their super tremendous helpful way, which is not much at all.
Pretty much, yeah. Under Cordelia's influence, Connor continues to question what he's known, his beliefs about the Angel Investigations team, and what he's believed is right. Gunn and Fred have sorted through Cordelia's stuff, finding little of use, some toiletries, candles, and fragments of the Moi Ping. Angel asks them to keep looking. Then Angel seeks out and roughs up the charismatic interdimensional demon guide Skip to find out why Cordelia has turned evil. Skip initially feigns ignorance, but eventually admits his part and begins to beat Angel. Again, I really hate that we're turning Skip heel here for no reason, but whatever.
Yeah, it's kind of the two sides of the same coin with it. Since he was kind of one of the big parts of Cordelia's story, it's the case that he also gets involved within this story, which is definitely sad.
And like I get that it makes sense that like he was like part of like her ascension and all that, and like so from that aspect it makes sense. I just hate that Skip is now a villain.
Indeed, it is mildly sad.
While they're in hiding, Cordelia puts Connor's hand on her stomach, telling him how much their baby will change everything. So she suggests that they expedite the birth of their baby by collecting a few very special things. Connor takes a virgin woman prisoner, and Cordelia encourages him to kill the girl in order to allow the baby to change the world. Which, again, I really hate this because it's clumsy as fuck. Because
Yeah.
Connor has no idea unless that vampire somehow determines that she's a virgin. How does he know this? He has no way of knowing. Anyway, Skip is far stronger than Angel thought, the demon having taken a fall in their previous fight, but Angel manages to rip one of the spurs protruding from his head and knocks him out before transporting them back to the hotel. Wesley, Gunn, and Fred assist Angel with Skip's interrogation. They trap him and threaten him with an orb of agony. Skip explains that Cordelia is not alone, there's something evil controlling her. Cordelia begins chanting an evil ritual while Connor looks on. He takes water to the girl and then sees a ghostly apparition of his mother, Darla. Tells him that after centuries of murder, Connor is the only good thing she ever did, and that she died out of love for him. She challenges the idea that killing an innocent woman can protect his baby. He has a choice. Skip tells them that all the events of the past few years were part of a higher being's plan to be reborn. He explains that Lauren's leaving Pyglia, Fred opening the wrong book and being sent to another dimension, Wesley sleeping with the enemy, and all the events of the previous years have been manipulated to bring the Beast's master to Cordelia's body. From there, it will give birth to itself, killing Cordelia in the process. Angel realizes that the Master is vulnerable in Cordelia's body. The gang tries to think of a way to find Cordelia using a Bushindi claw. Again, I really freaking hate this because it invalidates everything that's happened prior, but whatever.
Yeah, especially with this, I'm definitely on your train of thought when it comes to this particular point that everything that you particularly done came to this particular moment. It's like, oh dear God.
But like the other problem I have with it is like, but what else was part of the plan then? Like, because like obviously this is a spin-off of Buffy, so you could argue then that like, well, was the mayor part of the plan? Like, how far back does this go? Like, was the master part of it? Because they have the same name, so maybe that's a part of it too. It's freaking annoying. Anyway.
Yeah, indeed.
Darla reminds Connor that he has a soul and he can choose to stop the evil. He makes his choice. Fred and Gunn discuss the philosophy of free will and whether it makes sense with the knowledge they had. A destiny. When the spell works, Angel springs into action, going off on his own to find Cordelia, believing that it will be best to kill Cordelia himself and spare his friends the pain of seeing her die. Connor prepares to free the woman, but Cordelia shows up telling him that she could see Darla and that Darla is a cheap spell Angel made to stop him from saving the baby. The two pull Connor in opposite directions, but Connor rejects Darla. He drags the woman away to kill her. Cordelia follows, leaving Darla stunned in her wake. As Cordelia raises the knife, the woman suddenly becomes Darla, begging Connor not to kill her. Before he can do anything, Cordelia kills her, leaving Connor stunned. He stares down at the woman for a moment, then takes the blood and spreads it on Cordelia's stomach. She lays in a circle of runes and begins to chant. The earth begins to shake. Angel appears holding a sword. I do have to say, I really love the stuff between Connor and Darla in this episode. That's really good.
Indeed. Just bringing that character back and just showing the conflict of all the stuff that's happening and sort of throwing a bit more to Connor. Dude, you're doing something really evil now.
Yeah, I also like that, like, Connor's actually kind of scary in this episode. Like, when he's, like, dragging the girl by her hair and stuff. Like, that's really effective.
Yes, very much so.
In the hotel, a piece of debris falls in the sand circle holding Skip. Released, he begins beating Fred, Wesley, and Gunn. Gunn tries to shoot him down, but it doesn't work. Wesley is more successful with a gun. After several unsuccessful shots ricochet off Skip's plated chest, Wesley sinks one in the exposed spur, killing him. Which, that's a hell of a shot, Wesley.
Yeah, particular things though. The one particular thought that came to my head was again with the thought decisions. Everything was specifically preordained. Every sort of little decision you make has effects, and just Wesley's thought. I'm gonna take this flippin' shot, and that it works, and especially with Skip's comment of, "Well, that's unexpected," before falling over dead.
Yeah.
Case of, maybe there is a chance.
Yeah. Connor, seeing Angel coming to threaten Cordelia, attacks him. Angel fends him off and raises the sword over her body, saying, "I'm sorry." Before he can land a blow, Cordelia is split by a burst of green light, throwing him back. He regains his feet and comes forward with the sword, but stops upon seeing a fully grown woman standing before him. Angel drops to his knees and exclaims, "You're beautiful." Lowering his sword, the woman steps forward and says Angel's name affectionately as he gazes upon her in awe. Okay. So, what did you think of this episode, Dave?
Well, it was definitely interesting with all the specifics of things coming along. And at the start of it, it was like, yay, everyone discovers that Cordelia is evil. Oh no, Connor thinks that Cordelia needs to be protected from everyone, when really that's not the case. And god damn it, Connor, you're so stupid.
Yeah, like I said, I have major issues with this episode and what it kind of does to the characters. But aside from that, there is good stuff in it, like the scenes between Connor and Darla. And also, I do, as much as I dislike what they've done to Cordelia in these episodes, I do like Jasmine as a villain because I think she's really interesting. And that's who we see at the very end of the episode. Her name's Jasmine.
With that especially, it was kind of the case of, and then they fall to their knees, and I was like, and then it was like, oh, you're beautiful. And then my brain was just like, oh, dear God, not this again!
Yes, and for those of you who don't recognize her, it's Gina Torres. She also played Zoe in Firefly. Which we've also...
Familiarity, but I think it was just the case of how the style of her looked. She had her hair down in comparison to how it was shown off within Firefly, but no, that is the same actress.
It is, yes.
No, very good for her.
This would have been around the same time as well, like maybe... This might have been the same year. When was Firefly? Oh,
Firefly was still kind of going, or near kind of the end of its run?
Well, I mean, it had such a short run. Firefly is 2002. So this would have been like right after it ended, probably.
Oh, yeah.
And if you haven't seen Firefly, go watch Firefly. It's really good.
Indeed.
Anyway, so we have some international titles for this episode. So, in German, it translates as The Birth.
So, mildly spoiling the episode.
A little bit. And in French, my God, did the French nail this one. In French, it translates as The